Now, if you're going to get your dream job, you of course have to impress in an interview. But what if your interviewer isn't even a person? I'm about to learn about some not-so-human resources. This company in Salt Lake City takes online applications and looks at them for signs humans might typically pick up on, things like enthusiasm or sincerity. It's like a normal job interview, but instead of talking to a person, you're doing your best to impress an algorithm.
So it's looking for the same things you or I would look for if we were sitting face to face with someone. What do they say? What words do they use in responding to the question? How do they say it?
My name is Gabriella, and I'm hiring a customer support representative.
Typically, an interview will be 12 or so questions, some written, some recorded. I am passionate about helping people. I'm passionate about the company. I think it's going to be a great firm to work for. I had to role play a little, which some may find difficult. So what's it looking for?
So it's looking for the verbal and nonverbal cues. There is a little bit of a head movement and the eyes sort of lit up. It's a tag of the data. So if more successful people have that eye movement, then it'll be good.
HireVue is just one of several AI-powered recruitment companies that hope their approach will not only make it easier for companies to handle large numbers of applicants quickly, but will also remove the subconscious human bias in that process. One company here in San Francisco is helping recruiters find people regardless of their gender, race or background. In fact, it's helping recruiters find people who may not be looking for a position at all, at least not yet. In the future, you won't look for a job will look for you. Entelo is a firm that scrapes online services to build up profiles of people in the workforce, a huge 500 million strong database of expertise. But where it gets really interesting is with its product Envoy.
By looking at this huge data set of people, is we can start to see indicators that might suggest somebody's ready to make a change. It could be based on tenure in a role, events at that company that might be a triggering reason for them to look for a new position.
Removing people from at least part of the recruitment process should remove some of the discrimination, at least in theory. But what if the data is bad? What if the data itself is biased? Hiring people using algorithms is a trend that has some data experts very concerned. Angel Kriston is a data scientist at Stanford University, and she's writing a book on the concerns about big data making real decisions.
The problem with training data is that it is historical data. So what this means is that it's data from the real world which has been shaped by existing social structures, which means that the training data itself shows patterns of discrimination. So the training data that you're going to use, there is no magic to it. It will show biases against women, it will show biases against minorities, it will show biases against protected groups in general.
That's a fair point. I mean, if a company's never hired a woman in a particular role, people will say, well, then you'll never see a woman. But actually, that isn't the case. And we're not looking at whether a person's a man or a woman. The algorithms don't care about that.
Of course, what robots can't yet do is replace the value of human interaction in recruitment. For now, at least, that's not going away. The chief executive of the Charles Schwab Bank brings out potential employees for a meal, but he rings the restaurant ahead of time and tells them to purposefully muck up the order. He wants to see what human qualities the candidate would show when faced with that awkward situation. That may be a neat trick, but as we've been learning, sussing out your colleagues might be a lot more difficult in future. Who cares about you? Where am I going to be in 5 years?